Chief with New Bedford Guide. If you haven't heard today, there's going to be free COVID-19 testing in New Bedford and 7 other communities in Massachusetts. So I thought today, I'd go over it because Governor Baker just announced this about an hour ago, if you followed live. So I'm going to go over the locations. You can get testing in New Bedford starting July 10th at locations 6 days a week in New Bedford. So you're going to be able to get COVID-19. Doesn't matter if you feel sick or not. So what they're trying to do is test for people that are asymptomatic, people that might have COVID, don't know about it, but anyone can go. We're going to go over a couple of the details, who can go, where the locations are, what time, what languages they serve. I'm going to cover that right now. We're going to go over that. So share this information so everyone out there can get this, because the higher percentage we get tested, the better we can get through this, I think, right? So if you go to stop the spreads, mass.gov, I have a link in the website to New Bedford Guide. Actually, let me go over that first. I'm going to go over the link in New Bedford Guide. So why are they testing these communities? So the populations of the cities in which the free testing will be conducted: Chelsea, Everett, Fall River, Lawrence, Lowell, Lynn, Marlborough, and New Bedford make up approximately 9% of Massachusetts population, but have seen 27% of the positive tests in the last 2 weeks. So New Bedford, Fall River, and these other communities, roughly, 3 times the state average for positive tests in the last 2 weeks. The statewide positive test rate over the past 2 weeks is approximately 2%, but these 8 communities, 8% of them have tested positive. So what they're trying to do is, with the rate being really low in Massachusetts, they're trying to do is go after the communities that have the highest rate right now. So I'm going to go over next where you can go, who can get tested and where you can go get tested in New Bedford. Okay, so let me open that up. And you got questions, post them in there. I'll take a look at them. So let's open up where you can get tested in New Bedford. Okay, so if you go to Stop the Spread, it's on mass.gov. And I have a link to our website, but you can go from there. Okay, and you'll see the communities that I just talked about listed. This testing will be provided at no cost to you. So it's a free test. And it doesn't matter if you're sick or not, or you feel fine or healthy, you can go get tested. So it's going to start July 10th, and it's going to end August 14th. It's open to everyone in New Bedford. It says open to everyone, but they want you to be from the community. I don't think if you're in Fairhaven and Dartmouth, you can go. You don't need to have symptoms, and it's no cost. So the test results, you still get privacy with this. We will provide to each participant confidentiality. Participants are encouraged to share the results with a doctor. So this is not required to go to your doctor. So if you look at these locations, it's by alphabetical. I'm going to head down to New Bedford. Marlborough, and there's New Bedford. Okay, so where can you get tested for COVID-19? Free testing in New Bedford, Massachusetts. So Monday, you can see it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Almost every day, if not every day, the Greater New Bedford Community Health Center. That's the one on 874 Purchase Street, okay, right in downtown New Bedford. 8 to 5 o'clock. And you can see all of these, I'm pretty sure I went through these before I went live. Almost all of these, if not all of them, are walk up or by appointment. So you can call, make an appointment, because if you don't want to wait in line, who knows if there's going to be a line or not. You can call, get an appointment. Spanish, Portuguese, they have all the languages there. But also on Mondays, Morin Ave and Satellite Village, okay? And you can see the times. So Tuesday, again, Greater New Bedford Community Health Center. Kilbourne Street Clinic, Wynn Street, Moore's Court. Again, you can see the times, walk up or appointment. Some of these only might have Spanish or Portuguese, but some have all languages. I don't know what they mean by all, but I'm guessing a lot more than Spanish and Portuguese and English. Okay, on Wednesday, same thing, Greater New Bedford Community Health Center. And then PACA, right on Coggeshall Street, kind of right by Route 18 and Coggeshall, right off there. Temple Park United Front Housing. On Thursday, same thing, but also Gifford Street Wellness Center. So you can see they're kind of spreading this out to the city of New Bedford. You're going to pretty much, if you're in the north end, south end, downtown, you're going to be able to go and get free COVID-19 testing in New Bedford. On Friday, same thing, Great New Bedford Health Center, and then the International Park on 240 Sawyer Street. And then again, so you can see 6 days a week, every day but Sunday, you can go to that Great New Bedford Community Health Center in downtown New Bedford. Call this number, 508-992-6553. Walk up. If you don't want to wait because you're working or you're busy, you can do it by appointment. So this is kind of, I think it's big news because before, the evolution of testing in Massachusetts was you had to have symptoms, and now you don't have to have symptoms. You can go anywhere in New Bedford, Fall River, and those other communities listed. So how do we look in Massachusetts? I'm going to kind of go through real quick. I haven't done this in a while. I used to do this daily when we were kind of peak COVID. This is what the state of Massachusetts puts out every day. This is from yesterday, July 7th. We had 140 new cases. I remember we were like up to 2,000, well over 1,000 cases every day. So it's great to see 140. We're up to 104,799 total cases in Massachusetts, 15 deaths. I think we were close to, we were in the high hundreds at one time. So that's the overall arching numbers, but you can see this is kind of important. This is the public, Massachusetts Department of Public dashboard. You can see like June 7th, the 7-day average for positive test rate was 4.6%. July 6th, 1.9%. You can see the numbers of decline here. I'll post this link later on, but if you just go to Mass Department of Health and just type in Google Mass Public Health COVID-19, you'll get this data all the way down. So here's the cases. You can see back in May up to 1,000, and now you can see we're really low here. What I want to scroll down to next, because this is a lot of data that's kind of above a lot of our heads. You can just kind of get an idea that they're trending down on most of this stuff. Here's the deaths. This is great to see the deaths going down. Okay. You can see the total death number and then the daily number there. And then by age group, we've always, you always hear it's an older thing that really impacts you health-wise. And it's true as far as the deaths, but you can see the numbers of people who actually got COVID-19 is pretty consistent. Okay, hospitalization. Now here's the deaths. So 80 and over, you can see the highest, 80 and over is people who died in Massachusetts from COVID-19. And what's really important, I think, is this pre-existing condition. Total deaths with underlying conditions, 98.2%. So only 72 of the total deaths, 1.8%, are people who are completely healthy. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to say that this is something that's not you don't want to underreport this, but you don't want to overreport it. Healthy people can die from this, but 98.2% people had underlying conditions. So this is kind of the details that are in there, and I'll put this link in there later in the comments. So what do you think? So anyone in New Bedford is going to be allowed to get tested for COVID-19 starting July 10th. Okay, 6 days a week, Monday through Friday. Downtown's the primary location, but it pretty much goes throughout the area. July 10th through August 14th. Open to anyone in New Bedford. Doesn't matter if you're sick or not. It's not going to cost you a penny. You have complete privacy. This data is for you only. It won't get sent to your doctor, but they recommend you get it to your doctor so they can see the results, because you might have antibodies. They're going to test for everything, I believe, on this, but definitely see if you have COVID-19 right now. But they're going to actually run the antibody test as well. Maybe you had it at one time, which a lot of people, the asymptomatic numbers seem to be pretty high. It depends if you talk to the WHO, or you talk to Mass Department of Health. Numbers are pretty high. People who might have had it. I've seen as high as 1 in 4 people. In Massachusetts. I can't, verify 100% on that. I'm just giving you what I've read in the past. That number seems to change, but it's an important thing. So New Bedford, Fall River, you're going to go be able to get tested So let me see what some of these questions here. What are the positive cases for New Bedford? Okay, I get this every day. Let me look at my phone here. I get this from the mayor's office, so I'm going to give you that. So yesterday, New Bedford was 2,188 positive cases and 121 deaths. Okay, and that's up from Friday, 2,178 cases and 117 deaths. Okay, that was right for the 4th of July weekend. So we've only added 10 cases since last Friday, but the deaths have gone up 4 since last Friday. So New Bedford has had the cases are lower. The death rate continues to be there, and the death rate's hard to talk about, right? But from my understanding, as long as you have COVID in your body, it almost doesn't matter how you die. They're going to count you as a COVID-19 related death. They put COVID-19 related. So if you're on hospice care and, already, have weeks to live, but they test your COVID-19 in your blood, they count as a COVID-19 death. So the numbers, I think, sometimes are a little bit over exaggerated on the deaths, but we're going to get more data on this. 121 people so far have been attributed their death to COVID-19. But as you saw the chart, 98% of people had pre-existing conditions. So did COVID kill the person? That's what they're saying, yes. But was the person pretty much near death? That's something that's, the doctors and the politicians can hash out. So those are numbers, Kylie. Chrissy asked, sorry, just coming on, how many cases in there? Yeah, so same thing. Cases, 10 since Friday is not a lot. So we're not, some days we're at 0, some days we're at 3 or 4, but we're really not a high case count right now in New Bedford. Massachusetts seen a little bit of a spike recently, but not like a crazy spike. I remember when the numbers were really, really going up every single day. We're definitely not even close to that. So if you just tuned in, click the link below in the comments. I'm going to click it again. I'm going to throw it in the comments. Starting July 10th, if you're in New Bedford or Fall River, just post in the comments now. You're going to be able to get free testing for COVID-19. Not going to cost you a penny. You get complete privacy, 6 days a week. Kylie says, is there any specific area in New Bedford that has more than parts? They're not telling us that, Kylie. They're just not giving us that kind of information. But I can tell you the older population is the highest impacted. So the assisted living facilities, definitely the highest. Here's a number that is pretty shocking. This is from a couple of weeks ago. The assisted living community in America makes up like 1% of the total population, but it makes up nearly half of the COVID-19 deaths in America. Think about that. 1% of the population is having the highest toll. Half of the deaths, I think New York was like 55%. So if we can only pinpoint where the COVID-19 really is doing the biggest damage, it's in the assisted living. But it doesn't mean there's anywhere I could tell you in New Bedford where you have a higher chance of getting it or a lower case. They're just getting the highest death rate because they are the most susceptible to COVID-19. If you have pre-existing conditions like asthma, COPD, cancer, strokes, heart conditions, those are the things. And we've had a lot of experts on New Bedford Guide. Mike Roach has interviewed, some of the biggest minds in this country. Pre-existing conditions and elderly is really the highest susceptible to that. But I've seen where 41-year-olds went to a party, got COVID-19, and literally died in a few days later. So something to take seriously no matter what your age is. But the worst thing you can do is go to a party, and if you have elderly living at your house, or go visit an elderly in assisted living facility, because if you go out in public and you're in a big, population area, you should be, I would say at least 14 days. You should not be going around people that are highly susceptible to COVID-19 for at least 14 days. Whether you self-isolate or not, that's up to you. But worst thing you're going to have on your conscience is killing your grandparents because you were out, in large gatherings and then, heading over there. So hope that helps the data. So we're going to go tune out, but the link's in the comments. Type in Mass Department of Health, DOH, COVID-19 in Google. You'll find the data I was presenting. So thanks for tuning in.